Hello and welcome back to my channel, Tahara Loves Pilates. This session today is really good if you were a beginner at Pilates and you're starting to find that you're grasping some of the exercises. They're probably becoming a bit easier for you. There's some challenging things in today's one. So let's start by lying down on our mats in our semi-supine position. Just relaxing with the feet flat on the floor and our ankles, knees and hips in line always. Arms by the sides. And just take a few breaths here to center the body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And just be aware of the floor underneath you. The weight of the head, the pelvis and the feet. Let's take an exhale and come into our 6 o'clock tilt. So we're imagining the clock face on our pelvis, 6 at the belly button. And then roll the marble to our 12 o'clock towards the pubic bone. Exhale as you tilt the pelvis back, flattening the lower back into the floor. And inhale as you arch the lower back, marble to 12. Exhale to 6. Inhale to 12. Exhale to 6. Inhale to 12. One more. Exhale to tuck the pelvis. Inhale to arch. And then finding somewhere in the center of this, your neutral pelvis. So a good way of finding that is making sure that your hip bones and your pubic bone is level. From here, we're keeping this neutral pelvis. As we exhale, we're extending our right leg long. Inhale to place it back in. Other side, left leg stretches long. Inhale to place it back in. So I'm focusing on keeping my neutral pelvis. As I extend one leg away, the supporting leg is really planted into the floor. And I'm really feeling how that's supporting my neutral pelvis. So extend that leg. I'm starting to feel my deep abdominals engage, and I can emphasize that with my exhale here and my inhale to bend. Exhale, inhale, exhale. One more each leg. And then next time your legs are back to center, let's bring the feet together, knees together, and we're just dropping our knees over to the left, back to center and over to the right. Let's keep the feet glued together. So as you tip the knees to one side, you're really showing the base of your feet. Keeping the shoulders in contact with the floor, and it's as if you're separating the upper body from the lower half of the body. And once the legs are back to center, we're bringing our legs up to our tabletop position. Still with our legs together, so squeezing the inner thighs, knees and feet glued. Just bring the arms a little bit further away from the torso. Really press the palms into the floor. Reach the shoulders away from the ears, so you're really using that upper back for support. We're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, tipping over to one side, just a short distance. Inhale to the center, exhale other side. Inhale to center, exhale to the side. As I tip, there's just a slight lift of the opposite side of the pelvis away from the floor. Almost feel like the pelvis is like a bowl, tipping from side to side. Increasing the challenge here as we tip to the side. We're going to extend both legs long, bend the knees back, back to center. Exhale, inhale, back to center. Really feeling the inner thighs engage. And of course, feeling that deep work in the abdominals. One more each side. And once your legs are back to center, just hug the knees gently in towards the chest. Bringing the feet down one by one. Let's interlace the hands and place them at the back of the head, ready for our chest lift. Inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, we're curling the head, neck and shoulders away from the floor. Inhale to send the head down. Exhale, lift. So really keep the weight of the head in the hands. And we're keeping that space between the chin and chest. We're not going to squash. We're going to keep the throat nice and open. Last one. And once the head is down, we're bringing our legs to tabletop position. Again, squeeze the legs together and just release the arms, let them lie either side of the body. So the next exercise is just a mild variation of our 100. So we're pumping the arms, breathing in for 5, breathing out for 5, keeping our chest lift shape of the spine. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're chest lifting up and reaching the fingertips. Almost feel there's something at the end of the mat you want to reach and grab. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeezing the legs together. Each time you breathe out, increase that chest lift. One more breath in, one more breath out, and return the head all the way down. And bring the feet down one by one. Just let your knees drop over to one side as the head tilts to the other. And back to center, over to the other side. And back to center. From here, let's bring our right leg in towards us and just have a stretch of the hamstrings. Pointing and flexing the feet. Other side. Coming back to that right leg, we're coming into our leg circle. So extend your leg up towards the ceiling. We're circling the leg first out to the side, round, down and in. Use those arms into the floor. Use that momentum to come back up. Exhale. Let's reverse. Really feeling that rotation of the hip as the leg comes down. I'm rotating the leg out and back up. Really using that downwards momentum to bring the leg up. Last one. and bend the leg in. Let's move on to the other side. I'm just going to change head to feet so I've got enough space for my leg to circle. Extending that leg up towards the ceiling. Circle the leg out to the side first of all, round, down and in. That opposite leg is really pressing into the floor to help with that stabilisation. So it's quite a big movement that the leg's doing, so of course there's going to be a bit of movement through the pelvis. Keeping it as neutral as possible. As you circle, let's reverse. Use that downwards momentum to get the leg back up again. Last one. And bend the leg in. From here, just rolling on to your side. So we're coming up into our side lift. So make sure that your elbow is underneath your shoulder. And we're just in this kind of clam position. So making sure that your feet are in line with your pelvis. And from here, we're lifting up and out of that shoulder. So really send the elbow down into the floor and that head is reaching up and over the shoulder. One hand on the pelvis, and on your next exhale we lift and lower. As we lower, still keep that lift, so we're not going to allow the body to sink. Keep lengthening up and out. Really allow that head to lengthen over the shoulder. If we hold it up, that's going to be extra weight for the shoulder to cope with. So let that head lengthen. One more here. And then next we're going to extend that top leg. So coming up and point that leg away. It's going to still stay down against the floor, but we're just starting to challenge the length of the body. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Of course, if this feels too much of a challenge, just bend that top leg back in. So increasing that challenge now, we're stretching both legs long. Let's have the feet flexed. Really push through the heels, and again we're sending that elbow down, really lengthening up and out. You can have a hand just gently resting against the floor or against the pelvis. Exhale and lift. Inhale and lower. Exhale and lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Really pushing through the feet. Really pushing through that elbow, reaching through the feet, crown of the heads, lengthening in that opposite direction, pelvis coming down. Let's push up off that shoulder, off that elbow, and just reach that supporting arm up and over. Just give it a little stretch. Take a few breaths in and out. And circle the arm down. Let's repeat that on the other side. So we're starting in our clam position first. Feet are stacked on top of one another, and our elbow is resting against the floor. So we really want to make sure that when we're pushing down and we're lifted, that elbow is underneath the shoulder. If it's away, it's really going to be more difficult to weight bear. So pushing down, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Using that core. And stretching that top leg long now. Let's point that leg away. Elbow is again underneath that shoulder and lengthen up. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. You can always bring that hand down to support, but just the lightest fingertip touch there, otherwise it's on the pelvis. Allow that head to reach over the shoulder as the pelvis lifts. Let's move on into both legs long. So remember, if it doesn't feel quite right to have both legs stretched, we can bend the underneath leg, we can bend both legs. Exhale. Inhale. Drawing those abdominals together. Just one more. And when the pelvis comes down, just gently bend the knees in, and we're taking a stretch of that arm up and over. Breathing into that side. Reaching with that top arm. And lengthen that arm up and away. So from here, we're going to come and lie down on our front. So, thinking about our neutral pelvis, just adjust my trousers. We want to make sure that our hips stay pointing into the floor. With the pelvis, sometimes it can get a little bit painful in the lower back, so we want to make sure that we're using our abdominals here. So we're just having a bit of a tuck of the pelvis. It's the same motion as your 6 o'clock tilt. If we were lying on our back, this motion would be tilting the marble to 6 o'clock. So we're just lengthening out that dip in the lower back. And you can feel your abdominals lift away from the floor. We're going to hold here and just rest the head down in the hands. So I'm just making a triangle with the hands, fingertips together, thumbs together. That's just enough space for the forehead. I'm reaching my shoulders up towards the ears and I'm sliding them down the back. Up towards the ears and down the back. And just feel your shoulder blades sliding against the rib cage. Feel the muscles loose, especially when your shoulders are up towards your ears. And then almost feel as though they're hugging the back of the ribs as you pull the shoulders down. Next time you pull the shoulders down, press the hands and the forearms into the floor, and you should feel your head wants to float on up. Keep the spine nice and long. So we're lengthening out through the crown of the head. If we look up, we're shortening that neck. Keep that neck nice and long as you lift and lower. Still connected and engaged in the center. And then from here, we are moving the position of our hands. So bring them slightly back. So about where the bra strap is, we're reaching our elbows back as well. So we're still in that tuck of the pelvis, using those abdominal muscles, crown of the head's reaching away. I'm drawing my elbows down. There's a slight push of the hands forwards as I lengthen my spine and begin to peel the front of the ribs off the mat. And I'm lengthening back down again. So to me, it kind of feels like that motion in our shoulder bridge, where we're bringing our spine down bone by bone. So a similar sensation, but now we're just using the top of the spine rather than the base. We want to almost keep the lower back connected, so we're not arching at the lower back, but using our upper spine. Next time you lift, hold here, take a breath in, And as you breathe out, push the floor away, carry that whole shape forwards. We're going to layer everything back down against the mat. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, and we're setting the thighs down, pubic bone, ribs, breastbone, and then the face. And again, scooping up. Exhale, push. And then gently guiding the body back down. Feel the elbows just pointing back towards the feet. Exhale. And gently lengthen all the way down. As I set the body down, it almost feels like I'm getting longer and longer along the mat. Last one. Guiding the body down. Shoulders stay down and away from the ears. Let's do one last push up so we can fold at the hips. Sitting back in our child pose position, just take a few breaths here. Coming forwards into our quadruped position, coming into our swimming motion now. So have your position with your knees directly underneath your hips and the wrists directly underneath your shoulders. We're drawing in the abdominal muscles and we're using our breath, exhaling as we send opposite leg to opposite arm away. Inhaling, bend back. So we're keeping the feet and the fingertips against the mat for now. We want to make sure that our hips stay square so they're pointing forwards down towards the mat. The hand that stays in contact with the floor is working equally as hard to keep us lifted. Let's go ahead and increase the challenge, reaching the arm up and lowering down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. On your next reach, we're going to hold here. Slightly send the leg out to the side and send the arm out to the side. Just about enough room for my hand to reach. Sorry, plant. Other side, exhale, reach. Send the leg out to the side, arm out to the side. And lower. As we add in that extra bit of lateral movement, it's going to be easy for the body to sink down. Push and keep standing tall. In the hands. In that supporting hand and leg. Grow taller. Keeping the balance. Let's do one more each side. Last one. And lower down. Keep the pelvis nice and high as you reach the arms forwards and guide the chest down towards the mat. And gently walking the hands in, set the pelvis back. Just take a few deep breaths here. And gently curl up through the spine. Let's find our cross-legged position just for a little bit of a stretch for our glutes and the hips. So crossing over, arms just resting over each of your knees. Just nod the chin to chest and reach the body forwards. Such a good stretch for the hips. Lengthen the body back up And let's swap the feet over. So the leg that was behind, let's bring that to the front. Chin to chest. Exhale as you reach over. And lengthen the body back up, growing tall through the spine. Thank you so much for joining me in this session. Let me know which exercise was your favourite, and if you are a beginner, how did you find that session? Comment and like and subscribe for more Pilates.